Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We are going to systematically break down a deeply unsettling supernatural event, but we're going to treat this chilling case study just like any other data set. We're pulling apart the timeline, the mechanics, and the truly terrifying logic behind what is now known as the graveyard Wi-Fi. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's unravel this mystery together.
We're going to start our narrative with something entirely mundane, just a simple, innocent sound. Ding. It's that gentle chime of a mobile notification. You know the one. It's a sound we hear dozens, maybe hundreds of times a single day, to the point where we barely even register it anymore. But in the context of our analysis today, that ordinary little sound was literally the very first domino to fall in a truly terrifying ordeal.
But hey, before we go any further, I actually want to ask you a question. Just between us, do you use free Wi-Fi? Come on, be honest. If you're sitting in a coffee shop, an airport, or you just moved into a new apartment and you see an open network with full bars and absolutely no password, do you click connect? I mean, we all do it, right? We're all constantly hunting for free internet, and that completely human impulse is exactly what sets our subject up for absolute disaster.
So, let's talk about the setting, which is super important here. Our subject is a freelancer based in Karachi, and he's working nights to avoid those frustrating daytime power outages. Naturally, to save some cash, he moves into a cheap house in the Gulshan area. But, well, you know how it goes. If the rent seems too good to be true, it usually is. Our freelancer soon discovers that situated directly behind his new house is an ancient cemetery. So, just trying to save a few bucks basically led him right to the edge of an 80-year-old mystery.
It's a perfectly mundane sequence of events when you really look at it. First, the load shedding, the power outages, they force him into this nocturnal schedule. Second, trying to manage his finances pushes him to find cheaper accommodation. And finally, that cheap accommodation places him right next to a massive, ancient graveyard. Step by step, the universe just perfectly aligned to drop our subject directly into the danger zone.
Now, everything actually seemed fine for the first 2 months. Nothing weird at all. But then we hit this highly specific anomaly, 2:17 a.m. Every single night at exactly this time, a bizarre phenomenon starts happening on the freelancer's laptop. And it isn't random, it's incredibly precise. The exactness of that time almost suggests some kind of scheduled event, right? Like an automated digital routine. But as you'll see, the source is far, far from technological.
So, at exactly 2:17 a.m., a brand new network pops up in his Wi-Fi list. And it is the ultimate irresistible trap. The network name is free_guest_786. There is absolutely no password required, and the signal strength is completely maxed out. I mean, imagine you're working late into the night, your own connection is being super spotty, and suddenly out of nowhere this perfect, wide-open connection just presents itself. You're going to click it, right?
Well, on the first night, urgency takes over, and our freelancer connects. But the excitement of finding free, high-speed internet is instantly undercut by a really weird rule. No matter what website he tries to open, he gets redirected to a single blank landing page. All it says is, "Welcome, guest, you have 13 minutes." And then, a literal countdown begins. When those exactly 13 minutes are up, boom, the connection cuts out completely. And if he tries reconnecting, it just restarts that exact same 13-minute timer.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the sharp, honestly terrifying contrast between the digital promise and the physical reality. On one hand, you have incredible performance. We're talking a lightning-fast 200 megabits per second download speed. But then, there's the physical reality. Our freelancer actually looks out his window to see if maybe a neighbor is just playing a weird prank. Instead, he looks out and sees a small internet router sitting directly on top of an old grave, right in the middle of the cemetery. The wire is literally buried deep into the dirt, and there's just a single red light blinking in the dark.
So, how does this dread escalate? We're heading into the most dangerous phase of our explainer now. On the third night, curiosity, or honestly maybe some kind of supernatural compulsion, leads the freelancer to connect again at exactly 2:17 a.m. But this time the rules of engagement totally change. We shift from a weird neighborhood mystery into a direct supernatural threat, because this time a forced download initiates automatically.
And the file downloading to his laptop? It has a highly specific size. Exactly 666 megabytes. Yeah, the terrifying numerology embedded in this cannot be ignored. The entity on the other end of this connection isn't just sending random, corrupted data. It is deliberately sending a message of pure, concentrated dread.
Let's methodically break down these chilling data points because it's wild. The downloading file is named tumare_podosi.zip, which translates to your neighbors. The freelancer desperately tries to cancel it, but the whole system freezes. The screen just goes completely black, and then files start populating his desktop one by one. But these aren't random files. They are his files. 5 years of his own deleted chats, private documents, and photos. The entity literally weaponized his own deleted digital history against him. And the absolute scariest part? Every single file has a death date tagged to it. The very last file to appear is named tum.zip, meaning you, and the date on it is today.
Okay, so this is absolutely crucial. We've reached the climax of the physical encounter. The freelancer is in a state of sheer, absolute panic. He slams his laptop shut and literally throws it out onto the balcony, thinking he's severed the connection. But he hasn't. The flow of data completely reverses. It is no longer about what's being downloaded onto his machine. It is now about what is being taken from him.
Suddenly, his phone buzzes, presenting this terrifying, logical impossibility. The notification on his screen reads, "Upload 99% complete." But wait, when he frantically checks his data usage, it says 0 megabytes used. How in the world can an upload be nearly complete while using 0 digital data? Well, because what is being uploaded isn't digital at all. Something physical, something spiritual is being extracted.
He slowly looks into a mirror in his room, but his reflection is gone. Behind the glass, there is nothing but darkness. And standing in that darkness is a tall, shadowy entity with its head bowed, holding that exact same blinking router in its hands. The entity speaks, and its voice is completely flat and cold. It says, "The signal is weak. I need to upload your memories. When the upload is complete, your connection will also end." The sheer terror of that moment is just absolute. It's not a warning, it is a promise of complete erasure.
Okay, let's really dive into this. What exactly is going on here? We need an analytical breakdown of how this supernatural trap actually operates. Because this isn't just some random ghost lashing out wildly at the living. No, this is a highly structured, deadly transaction. Think about it. There is literally an economy of souls at play here, governed by very, very specific rules.
So here's the step-by-step mechanism of the curse. Step 1. A victim connects to free_guest_786. That network actually belongs to those buried in the graveyard. Step 2. The victim is given exactly 13 minutes. During this time, the dead are trying to upload their stories to you. If you listen and accept their data for those 13 minutes, they are freed. But step 3 is where the trap snaps shut. If you try to skip it, close the page, or ignore the timer, the transaction reverses. Since you won't take their history, they forcibly download yours, effectively taking your life to replace theirs.
Which brings us to, honestly, the most unsettling part of this entire analysis. We're shifting from a distant ghost story to a present tense threat. Because yes, our freelancer survived the night by the skin of his teeth, but surviving a single night is definitely not the same thing as breaking a curse.
Just look at how brutally this timeline repeats itself. The very next day, the freelancer packs up immediately. He vacates that cheap house by the graveyard, moves far away across the city, and even buys a brand new laptop just to ensure a completely clean slate. But tonight, at exactly 2:16 a.m., his brand new laptop screen turns on completely automatically, and at 2:17 a.m., free_guest786 pops back up on the Wi-Fi list with a full signal. The 13-minute countdown begins again. It proves the curse is tied to the person, not the location. Once you make that initial handshake with the network, it follows your IP, your soul, wherever you go. There is no running from it.
So I have to ask, if you're watching this explainer right now, has your own internet been feeling maybe a little sluggish tonight? Is your connection buffering just a bit more than usual? I want you to pull up your network settings right now. Take a look at the available connections around you. Tell me, is free_guest786 in your list? Because if you see it with no password and full signal, whatever you do, do not connect. Thank you so much for joining me today, and please stay safe online.